Our next presenter has probably got as much experience as anybody has in building businesses. Greg Roworth, who I've known for many years now, is a very, very highly skilled business systems and I'm not sure how to describe exactly what he does. I'm sure he's going to do a 10 times better job. But when it comes to rethinking how to grow your business and the new path to more clients, more profits, and more freedom, I don't think anyone else has got as much experience as Greg has. So let's get Greg on the call. You there, Greg?
Yeah, thanks, David. And probably a business growth strategist is how I would call myself. So let me share my screen. All right. Hopefully everyone can see my screen with me there over the middle talking about rethinking business growth, which is all about the new path to more clients, more profit, and more freedom in your business. So what that means is that really, if you think about it, and what I'm going to be speaking about today is thinking differently about how to grow your business, because really you can't grow a business with the same old thinking you've always had. You can't keep doing the same old things and expect different results. So thinking differently about business growth is important. And I'm assuming as you're on this call today that you're interested in growing your business, but I'm not going to be talking about the normal growth path, maybe 10% growth per year. What I'm talking about is really a disruptive approach to business growth in the same way that Tony Hsieh from Zappos, the shoe company, or formerly as they started out selling shoes online, Tony Hsieh in the year 2000 was running a business that was struggling with about a $1.6 million turnover. He rethought the way they approached business and turned that business into a $1 billion revenue business in the year 2008. So that's the type of business growth that I'm talking about. And, giving you the ability to do what Tony Hsieh did, which, was selling his business to Amazon for over $1 billion. So maybe put a Y in the chat box if you're interested in how to grow your business significantly and disruptively like that. Let me see if we're in the right room here. Great, thank you. I can see a lot of people wanting that. So first of all, why listen to me? As David said, I'm an experienced business guy. Thanks for putting that so politely, David. Some people might say old, but really over the last 40 years, I've started, grown and sold 5 businesses of my own. And the last 3 of those businesses have been in the business consulting space. And now, since I sold my last business 3 years ago, I work specifically with owners of business consulting firms, IT firms, and business coaches who are wanting to grow a business that they can sell. But really, the backstory behind that is, success didn't come easy for me. About 25 years ago, I was about 2 years into my first consultancy business, and at that time we had a record month sales, and while that was good on the surface, underneath the surface, things were pretty stressful in my business. All of those sales in that record month were down to me through my own personal efforts. And I had a small team of consultants and a couple of support staff working with me, but the work they did for our clients in delivering our services wasn't really up to the standard that I really wanted from the consultants. So that required a lot of my involvement with our clients as well. So as you can imagine, that was pretty stressful. And I was working long hours in the business to make all the parts work together and to keep our clients happy. So as you can imagine, that put strain on not just my personal ability to do the work, but stress on my family. It affected my family, affected my health, and was really a challenging time in the business. But that really, everything came to a crunch when we had a family health emergency, and that required me taking 6 weeks off work. And despite the reassurances from my team that, who were saying, don't worry about it, we'll look after the business, we've got your back, which was great to hear, and nice to go away from with that thought in mind. But when I got back, over that 6 weeks, we had gained exactly 0 new clients. We also had a cash flow issue that was pretty difficult to manage, and I had to make some really difficult decisions just to be able to survive in the business. So that meant that I had to make some decisions and rethink how I was running my business to run it effectively. And what I discovered as I was rethinking how to work effectively in the business was that I was really trapped in the center of my business. Every decision required something from me. As we grew, every new employee demanded more of me. So I had created a business that was totally dependent on me. And what I've discovered since then is that most small to medium-sized businesses really operate in the same way. The owner builds a business that is totally dependent on them. And what I've discovered is that reality and situation is really reflected in the concept that was developed by Robert Kiyosaki in his book, The Cash Flow Quadrant, where he talks about 2 different types of people, the rich and the poor. And you probably recognize those. Now, on the poor side of the equation, he talks about people leaving school and getting a job, and they become employees to earn an income. But some people have greater aspirations and move out of that situation and become self-employed. They start their own business, but really they start that business with the same employee mindset, and they end up working hard for the business. On the rich side of the equation, he talks about people having an investor mindset. And that investor mindset is all about making money work for you. So when an investor starts their business, they do it in an entirely different way from the self-employed person. They set up a business that, with the intention of building the business into a system so that the business works for you as the business owner. So really, the change in mindset that we need to create for ourselves is to change from being or having that employee mindset where we're working hard for our business to having that investor mindset where we're creating a business that works hard for us. Now, when I look at how businesses grow, my experience is that there are really 4 levels of growth. When we start our business, we basically enter an occupation. We're working on our skill set, the things that we're good at, and we start our business in that occupation. But typically it's a struggle. And the struggle is first to get enough clients or customers to pay the bills and to keep the business growing. But as we're good at what we do, we get referrals, and we go to networking meetings to find more clients. So we start to build a business and we start to employ other people. And we change from that occupation into running a real business where we become the business operator. And as we struggle to find the strategy to find more clients consistently and predictably and build a structure in the business that means we can delegate more of our work to our people, we reach a level of survival. But the real critical point here is that unless you change your thinking from being that struggling business operator to becoming the business orchestrator, where you can reach a level of scalability by having the right systems in place that mean that your people can do the work that you used to do and maybe do it even better than you, so that you can have a scalable business and ultimately reach that level of supremacy where you become the overseer in a saleable business. That's the ultimate goal that we want. But what I find is that most people get trapped in that operator level because they don't really change their thinking to become the orchestrator rather than the struggling operator. So you need to be looking at is, as David referred to earlier, taking yourself out of the center of your business and being able to work on your business rather than in the business. So creating a business that frees you from the shackles of tying you into every decision and every level of operation around that business. So how do you create a business that works for you so that you don't have to? And really that's about, first of all, that fundamental change of thinking about being the investor rather than the employee, but then moving on to think differently about the two universal drivers of business success, which is first, improving business processes, which is about how do we improve the way we do things for our clients? How do we produce the products or services more effectively, more efficiently? And secondly, improving client acquisition, which is about how do we get better at attracting our ideal clients consistently and predictably. So the level of thinking here that we typically see from business owners is tactical thinking. Now, tactical thinking is great. We can definitely improve how we do business in a tactical thinking way. We can get more efficient at how we do things. We can improve things dramatically by tactical thinking. But unless you move to the level of strategic thinking, where you can create disruptive improvements, you'll never really make that advance. You'll always be in that competitive space with everyone fighting against each other, trying to make small incremental improvements. But strategic thinking will help you create that disruptive improvement like Uber, like Airbnb, like Apple, like Amazon, to name a few, where they really shift the market and make their competitors almost irrelevant, make their competitors unable to compete with what they do. Then if we move on to the second level of client acquisition, tactical thinking tends to be the way we think again. And, as in a smaller business, we're hunting for clients typically, and that's the regular thing that we're doing. So, like this guy here who's, looking for the fields where he can hunt the butterflies, it's hard work. Typically, a lot of our time and investment is from ourselves, and we invest ourselves in that and don't get a very good ROI on that investment unless we change again to strategic thinking. So with strategic thinking, we think rather than hunting for clients about how can we attract our clients and make it child's play. So instead of looking at being a hunter, turn your business into a garden. Look at how you can till the soil, fertilize it, plant the plants, water them, make them flourish so that when the springtime comes, you attract your ideal clients in swarms. So those are the levels of thinking, just to give you a bit of a different way to look at things and see how your business can grow by a different approach to the way you're doing things at the moment. So if you're willing and have the courage to change your thinking, to stop being that struggling operator to becoming the thriving orchestrator in your business, then we have a process at Business Flight Path that we take our clients on to take them from that position of struggle to the position of scalability in the business. And the first part of that process is around the strategic attraction system, which is about developing strategic authority in your business, positioning you as the authority in the market. Then that gives you the foundation to move on to scalable autonomy, which is about building the culture, the systems, the structure in your business so that you get to that level of scalable ascendancy. So if you're ready to take the first step on this process, what I recommend is that you download the ebook here, the 7 keys to building a thriving professional practice you could sell. Now, even though this is written for professional practices, the principles in it really apply to any business. So scan that QR code or click on the link that Eugene's put in the chat, and the book will really give you much more in-depth detail about advancing on from where I've talked today, and specifically talking about the 5 critical mistakes that most small business owners make in trying to grow the business, so how you can avoid those, and then the 7-step process that you can use to take your business from that struggling operator level to the thriving orchestrator level. So thanks for sharing the time with me today. I hope I've provided you some good value and changed the way that you think about your business so that you can really grow your business at that disruptive level.